Hey, what's going on, guys? Joe here, coming at you today from Town Hall 9, and today we're going to take a look at what I believe is one of the best strategies at Town Hall 9. Now, there are many awesome strategies at Town Hall 9 versus multiple types of bases, whether you're running anti-3 bases or anti-2 bases. This strategy is pretty standard across the board and will do the same results on both types of bases. Now, the army that we have today is 6 wizards. Looks like we got some healers in there, and then we got the golems, the witches, and bowlers in the clan castle. You also have high-level heroes. So I wouldn't recommend this strategy for anything lower than a level 20 king or queen. Maybe a little bit higher might help you out a little bit, but definitely max will definitely get you the results that you're going to see in the replays today. We have 1 heal spell, 1 rage spell, 2 jump spells, and 2 poison spells. Now, as we look at this base, you're looking at a anti 3-star base, meaning that the town hall's on the outside and that you're not supposed to be able to clear the inside compartments of this base. Now, we're going to go through the replay first, and then we're going to go back and look at why the troops were placed where they were placed. And we're going to do something called a queen walk with only 3 healers. And I know some of you that are experienced players are going to be like, what? But anyways, let's just start out the replay, and that way you can see what's happening here. So we're going to start out with the queen over on the western side. You're going to see 1, 2, 3 on the healers, and then you're going to see a group of witches. Looks like 3 or 4 witches up there and 2 healers. And they're on both flanks. You got the queen down on the outer flank on the left side, and you got the witches on the right side on the outer flank. Next, you're going to see the golem dropped, and then you're going to follow it up with the wizards. All 6 of those are dropped on the map, and they're spread out behind that golem. Next, you're going to see the remaining witches drop back behind the wizards, and they are also going to assist with a jump spell placed. Then the Barbarian King and the bowlers, and they're going to hit this first jump. The next jump is going to be placed in the middle of the base. That's going to carry our troops to the opposite side, and a rage spell and a group of poison spells for the enemy clan castle troops. Now, the clan castle troops are to be taken out by both the poison spells and the wizards and witches. That's their job in the core. You got 2 tanking units in the core here with the Barbarian King and the golem. Let's go ahead and readjust here. Witches are on the outside, so you got a group of witches up in the north working their way towards the eastern corner, and you have this queen that is all by herself with only 3 healers carrying her through the base. Now, we'll show why this happened in a moment. So as everything moves through, the clan castle troops are going to be taken out by the poison spells as the ice golem does freeze the troops in the core. Again, you still have a golem and a barbarian king tanking, and the king still has his abilities. So the golem is soaking up a lot of the damage, and the cannons are confused, the X-bows are confused, and it just doesn't know where to shoot. That's what's happening. It's a lot of confusion for the defenses. That's a good thing. So that queen is going to come in and assist with some targets over here in the south side of the base, while you got a group of bowlers, or it looks like 2 bowlers there, some witches, wizards, Barb King. His ability is still available. He's going to crack through this wall, and he's going to go after that X-bow, that final X-bow. So the witches on the opposite side are finishing up on a builder's hut, and they're going to start turning the corner here in a moment. And it looks like we got that queen working her way through a wizard tower, and she's going to continue to progress around the southern corner of this base back up towards the hidden Tesla farm location. So it looks like our troops have basically fizzled out at this point, but the core of the base has been cleared out, and the queen's level is high enough. She was not targeted. Doesn't look like she lost any healers in the process, and so she's going to assist with taking down the final defenses in the hidden Tesla and the final elixir pump. Now we're going to look at the army, and then from here we're going to rewind it, and we're going to take a look at the base step by step. Okay, so this portion of the video is for those of you out there that really want to learn how to do this strategy and understand the bases, the base designs, and how to negotiate it, since every attack is different. Now, we've started out with the queen in place with her healers, the witches in their place with their healers, and we are looking at this base as a whole. You will notice that there are 2 archer towers down here in the location where the queen. On the opposite side of the base, there are 5 cannons. So we realistically want to keep this queen walk going all the way down one flank of the base, clearing out buildings. That way we don't have to worry about it with our witches or our bowlers. The bowlers are intended for the core of the base, so you will notice that the X-bows, they are in 2 different compartments on opposite sides of the base, and we're going to go into them in a straight line distance. That way we take on 1 X-bow at a time and not both of them at the same time, since we're only running 1 golem. Now, you will also notice where the air defenses are located. They're on the opposite side of the base, so we want to make sure that the healers with our queen stay alive and that they aren't targeted by air defenses, so the bowlers and the king and them will take out this group of air defenses, and we don't have to worry about it with our queen. So now that you've seen that, you will understand in a little bit simplified manner why the troops were placed where they were placed. The witches up in the north will provide skeletons to distract the 5 cannons on that side of the base, and the queen only has a little bit of defenses on this side that she really truly has to deal with, since she's only taken on 1 wizard tower and 1 archer tower, and then she's going to move down and have to deal with 1 more archer tower. At the same time, you got a golem, you got a barbarian king, you got bowlers, witches, and wizards in the core of this base starting to gut it out. So it's really a simultaneous movement running throughout the base. Everything is just basically in a straight line distance, kind of doing a little bit of battle drill 1 alpha, if you know what that is. They're going to continue to sweep through the core of this base as our queen and our witches on the outsides are continuing to sweep on the outsides. And that's realistically can be done the same way on every single base. We have one more replay that we're going to take a look at as our troops move through. In the next replay, you're going to see the jump spells placed differently, but the attack is done the same exact way. In this replay, we do have a different base design, and you will also notice that it is also an anti-3-star base design. So sending our troops directly into the heroes and the expos is probably beneficial. So you will notice based on our previous replay that our troops are more than likely going to come in from the southeastern side of the base down in this location. And we're going to start out with the queen down here on the southern builder's hut. And you will notice why, because there are only 3 point defenses that she has to deal with. Remember, she's only working with 3 healers, and there's not going to be any rage spells used on her. Then the witches are dropped over in the eastern corner to take the opposite flank, and then you will see the golem, wizards, and the witches to back them up. And we're going to allow the skeletons to work and take out multiple buildings before we drop the barbarian king and the bowlers. We want to make sure that our bowlers actually go into the base and not around the outsides. So those bowlers are going to clear the archer tower and cannon, which is going to make our queen go the opposite way and stay outside. There's a jump spell placed and then a rage spell placed for our troops, and there is a lava hound in a clan castle, which is going to tie our wizards and witches up for a moment. Now there's going to be a heal spell placed for our bowlers, carrying them through the expo and that air defense, and then the additional jump spell to tie the rest of the base together. That way our barbarian king can lead the way, get into the final expo on the opposing side, and you will notice that the base is basically crumbled at the will of the heroes, the bowlers, and the witches. And so you got witches over there in the northeastern side working their way up towards the northern point, and you have an archer queen that is working her way through a Tesla farm location. And I mean, at this point, you're working witches into wizard towers. That's not necessarily the best thing, but you will also remember that you have the queen's ability still available, and she will be able to join the rest of the group here momentarily. So that king did break through the wall. He took down the final defenses in those cannon and archer tower that was there previously, and the witches are working up there in the northern point, taking out an archer tower, and then they're going to work their way into the wizard tower. And in a moment, that queen is going to retarget, and she's going to move up towards the northern point, taking down those final wizard towers and the final building. So again, this strategy I really believe is one of the best strategies at Town Hall 9, but it's an advanced strategy. It's something that you really have to practice at and understand how to read each base in order to apply it. You also need to be able to understand where those air defenses are located. That way your queen can continue to walk and not end up getting taken out in the process. So again, I hope this video helped you out today. This is going to wrap us up for today. This is me doing my best to help you suck less. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, wait. I almost messed it up. Oh, no. Oh. Free for all?
Free for all.